Today's video is I'm going to be doing a 13 bean soup. Hello YouTubers, this is my first video of 2025. I hope you had a good Christmas and you're enjoying your New Year's Day. For this week's video, what I'm doing is I'm doing a vegetable bean soup, and this is one that's off the shelf. I happened to buy this one. I was doing my last recipe of bean soup. This one's a little bit different. It's a soup mix. It's called Bob Red Mill 13 bean soup mix. It's got the instructions on the back. Of course, I'm making a lot of changes onto it. And so, but I thought with today's weather being extra cold, we've got snow flurries going on right now up here in Michigan, and a good low-cal soup sounds good to me today, and it's something I plan on eating for the rest of the week or as long as it lasts. I'm not making quite as big of a pot that I normally do. I'm using, as I will say later on in the video, a 7-quart pot, and I'm going to be adding in my own choice of vegetables and some extra spices, which the recipe says you can do whatever you want with it. I'm taking that liberty, and we're just going to see how it goes. So I hope you enjoy the video. If you do have comments or any suggestions, please let me know. Now my ingredients are going to be basically assorted vegetables of whatever your choice is. I happen to pick up some broccoli, frozen broccoli. I've got a frozen stir fry. I've chopped up a whole onion, and then I've got a bag of chopped up carrots. The other thing that I'm using is, instead of using water, I choose to use vegetable broth. And then of course I've got the Bob's soup mix. This has got 13 beans in it. And then I also have some coarse ground sea salt. Now you can adjust the quantities to your liking. It does give you precise measurements with the exceptions of the vegetables, but you can just choose whatever you want to use. I like a lot of flavor, that's why I'm going with the vegetable broth. Okay, to start out, I'm going to take my vegetable stock. I'm going to put that in my pot, which is a 7-quart pot. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my salt. Again, you put in whatever amount that you really feel comfortable with. Give her a little stir. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my beans. These have all been rinsed. My hands have been washed, by the way. So we're just going to get everything out of here that we can. You probably noticed that my burner is on next to me, and that's because I wanted to get it centered, the pot centered for the shot. And because of the room that I have, I'm rather limited. So what we're going to do is let this heat until it comes to a boil. Now the instructions on the back of the bag says rinse 1 cup of soup mix and place in a large pot with 3 cups of water and 1 teaspoon of salt. Of course, you adjust it to whatever you like, and in my particular case I've exchanged water and now I'm putting in vegetable broth instead. Then it's to be brought to a boil, then reduced to a simmer, and you cover and cook it until tender. So that's us about 60 to 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, then we'll add the vegetables and seasoning as desired prior to serving. Now the seasoning I'm going to be adding, I've got some thyme. I'm going to add that to it. bay leaves, which I always like to do. And please, if you viewers happen to know what kind of taste the bay leaves do to it, or do to any kind of soups, or what kind of flavor does it actually give? I have never been able to figure it out. So I'd love to hear from you. The other thing I'm going to be putting in is I'm going to be putting in a little basil. And finally, I always put in some black pepper. And then as I taste it, I may add more salt. So we'll get back to you in about 60 minutes. Okay, this has been simmering now for probably about close to 90 minutes. It's not been on a boil, it's been on a simmer, so. And the beans are all seem to be pretty tender. Apologize for the focus. So I'm going to add carrots. Looks like I'm going to be putting in some more vegetable stock. There's my onions. Now I've got a vegetable stir fry. I'm just putting that in there because that looked like it was a good combination. And I might even add some more beans to this. And then I'm putting in the bag of broccoli. I'm going to mix that up a little bit. Now, it looks like what I'm going to do, I've got another container of vegetable broth. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add that into it. And I'm going to crank this up maybe a little bit, and I may add some more beans to it. That's what I like about my recipes. I can always add more to them. And while I'm at it, I really don't think I need too much, but I'm just going to add a little bit of thyme. And we'll do a little bit of basil. I don't want to overpower it. I'm going to add some black pepper. And I'm going to add in a couple of bay leaves. Because every recipe I've ever seen, they always add bay leaves. Why? I have no clue. But I'll put in 1, 2, let's go 3. 3's a lucky number there. And I'm just going to go ahead and let this cook a little longer. And during that time, I'm going to rinse and add some more beans, because these beans really look pretty good. And we'll check back. I think what I'll do is I'm going to set this timer for about an hour. And we'll come back and check on it a little bit later. Now I've had the soup on for quite some time, even after I've added some more vegetable broth And to be honest, I added the rest of my beans. Because prior to adding the beans, I would say the soup was nice and thick and creamy, and that's why a lot of people like it. And if you do want to make your soup more creamy without adding any more beans, you can take the beans and kind of press them up against the side of the pot, and that will add to the creaminess. But I find in due time it will get thicker every time I heat it up. As I said, I did add more vegetable stock, I added more beans, and I also added some more salt. So now it's time to take a look and see how she comes out. If you want to, you can always add some ham to it as well. But I'm just going straight vegetables. With vegetables and vegetable stock, I can pretty much rest assured that this is going to be a nice low-cal soup. Okay, I don't know if you can see that very well, but let's give that a shot. That is very, very good. Now I'm going to let that set. I'll keep it on simmer for a little while longer until I'm ready to take it off the stove and put it away in the fridge. But until then, I think you'll be a pretty good choice to try. And again, this is a Mr. Hill's or Bob Hill's 13 bean soup mix. This can be picked up in just about any grocery store. And it gives you the beans, and then what you do with that is up to you. It will give you just a basic recipe. Again, I never do it by the basic recipe. I like to kind of kick it up a notch and to experiment a little bit. And this tastes very good. After I get done putting this in and editing it, I'll let you know how well it was after I've had it for a little bit. After eating this soup for the last few days, I have a few thoughts about it. My first is that after about a day or so, especially when it's in the refrigerator, you'll find it's going to start thickening up. So you may want to add either some water or some vegetable stock. Seasoning was very good. I think maybe I might have had a little bit too much salt, which I had added on my own. And finally, I'm not a big fan of some beans like lima beans. It's always been one of my most disliked beans that they have out there in the market. Overall, it's not my favorite soup. It is pretty good. However, my choice would be, if I wanted a bean soup, is to use the white bean recipe that I did just a few weeks ago. Not everybody has the same taste, so hopefully you'll take a look at this review or this recipe and then try it yourself, and please let me know what you think. So if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And most of all, thanks for watching. And please, again, let me know what your thoughts are. If you think I should have done something different, or if there's something you liked or disliked about it.